Disgrace by J. M. Coetzee. Chapter 3. That is where he ought to end it. But he does not. On Sunday morning he drives to the empty campus and lets himself into the department office. From the filing cabinet he extracts Melanie Isaac's enrollment card and copies down her personal details: home address, Cape Town address, telephone number. He dials the number. A woman's voice answers. Melanie? I'll call her. Who's speaking? Tell her David Lurie. Melanie. Melody. A meretricious rhyme. Not a good name for her. Shift the accent. Melanie, the dark one. Hello? In the one word he hears all her uncertainty. Too young. She will not know how to deal with him. He ought to let her go. But he is in the grip of something. Beauty's rose. The poem drives straight as an arrow. She does not own herself. Perhaps he does not own himself either. I thought you might like to go out to lunch, he says. I'll pick you up at, shall we say, 12? There is still time for her to tell a lie, wriggle out. But she is too confused, and the moment passes. When he arrives, she is waiting on the sidewalk outside her apartment block. She is wearing black tights and a black sweater. Her hips are as slim as a 12-year-old's. He takes her to Hout Bay, to the harbour side. During the drive, he tries to put her at ease. He asks about her other courses. She is acting in a play, she says. It is one of her diploma requirements. Rehearsals are taking up a lot of her time. At the restaurant, she has no appetite, stares out glumly over the sea. Is something the matter? Do you want to tell me? She shakes her head. Are you worried about the two of us? Maybe, she says. No need. I'll take care. I won't let it go too far. Too far. What is far? What is too far in a matter like this? Is her too far the same as his too far? It has begun to rain. Sheets of water waver across the empty bay. Shall we leave? He says. He takes her back to his house. On the living room floor, to the sound of rain pattering against the windows, he makes love to her. Her body is clear, simple, in its way perfect. Though she is passive throughout, he finds the act pleasurable. So pleasurable that from its climax he tumbles into blank oblivion. When he comes back, the rain has stopped. The girl is lying beneath him, her eyes closed, her hands slack above her head, a slight frown on her face. His own hands are under the coarse knit sweater, on her breasts. Her tights and panties lie in a tangle on the floor. His trousers are around his ankles. After the storm, he thinks. Straight out of George Grosh. Averting her face, she frees herself, gathers her things, leaves the room. In a few minutes she is back, dressed. I must go, she whispers. He makes no effort to detain her. He wakes the next morning in a state of profound well-being, which does not go away. Melanie is not in class. From his office he telephones a florist. Roses? Perhaps not roses. He orders carnations. Red or white? Asks the woman. Red, white. Send 12 pink, he says. I haven't got 12 pink. Shall I send a mix? Send a mix, he says. Rain falls all of Tuesday, from heavy clouds blown in over the city from the west. Crossing the lobby of the communications building at the end of the day, he spies her at the doorway, amid a knot of students waiting for a break in the downpour. He comes up behind her, puts a hand on her shoulder. Wait for me here, he says. I'll give you a ride home. He returns with an umbrella. Crossing the square to the parking lot, he draws her closer to shelter her. A sudden gust blows the umbrella inside out. Awkwardly, they run together to the car. She is wearing a slick yellow raincoat. In the car, she lowers the hood. Her face is flushed. He is aware of the rise and fall of her chest. She licks away a drop of rain from her upper lip. A child, he thinks. No more than a child. What am I doing? Yet his heart lurches with desire. They drive through dense late afternoon traffic. I missed you yesterday, he says. Are you all right? She does not reply, staring at the wiper blades. At a red light, he takes her cold hand in his. Melanie, he says, trying to keep his tone light. But he has forgotten how to woo. The voice he hears belongs to a cajoling parent, not a lover. He draws up before her apartment block. Thanks, she says, opening the car door. Aren't you going to invite me in? I think my flatmate is home. What about this evening? I've got a rehearsal this evening. Then, when do I see you again? She does not answer. Thanks, she repeats, and slides out. On Wednesday, she is in class, in her usual seat. They are still on Wordsworth, on Book 6 of the Prelude, The Poet in the Alps. From a bare ridge, he reads aloud. We also first beheld unveiled the summit of Mont Blanc, and grieved to have a soulless image on the eye that had usurped upon a living thought that never more could be. So, the majestic white mountain, Mont Blanc, turns out to be a disappointment. Why? Let us start with the unusual verb form usurp upon. Did anyone look it up in a dictionary? Silence. If you had, you would have found that usurp upon means to intrude or encroach upon. Usurp, to take over entirely, is the perfective of usurp upon. Usurping completes the act of usurping upon. The clouds cleared, says Wordsworth. The peak was unveiled, and we grieved to see it. A strange response for a traveller to the Alps. Why grieve? Because, he says, a soulless image, a mere image on the retina, has encroached upon what has hitherto been a living thought. What was that living thought? Silence again. The very air into which he speaks hangs listless as a sheet. A man looking at a mountain. Why does it have to be so complicated? They want to complain. What answer can he give them? What did he say to Melanie that first evening? That without a flash of revelation there is nothing. Where is the flash of revelation in this room? He casts a quick glance at her. Her head is bowed. She is absorbed in the text, or seems to be. The same word usurp recurs a few lines later. Usurpation is one of the deeper themes of the Alps sequence. The great archetypes of the mind, pure ideas, find themselves usurped by mere sense images. Yet we cannot live our daily lives in a realm of pure ideas, cocooned from sense experience. The question is not, how can we keep the imagination pure, protected from the onslaughts of reality? The question has to be, can we find a way for the two to coexist? Look at line 599. Wordsworth is writing about the limits of sense perception. It is a theme we have touched on before. As the sense organs reach the limit of their powers, their light begins to go out. Yet at the moment of expiry, that light leaps up one more time like a candle flame, giving us a glimpse of the invisible. The passage is difficult. Perhaps it even contradicts the Mont Blanc moment. Nevertheless, Wordsworth seems to be feeling his way toward a balance, not the pure idea wreathed in clouds, nor the visual image burned on the retina, overwhelming and disappointing us with its matter-of-fact clarity, but the sense image, kept as fleeting as possible, as a means towards stirring or activating the idea that lies buried more deeply in the soil of memory. He pauses, blank incomprehension. He has gone too far too fast. How to bring them to him? How to bring her? Like being in love, he says. If you were blind, you would hardly have fallen in love in the first place. But now, do you truly wish to see the beloved in the cold clarity of the visual apparatus? It may be in your better interest to throw a veil over the gaze so as to keep her alive in her archetypal, goddess like form. It is hardly in Wordsworth, but at least it wakes them up. Archetypes, they are saying to themselves. Goddesses? What is he talking about? What does this old man know about love? A memory floods back. The moment on the floor when he forced the sweater up and exposed her neat, perfect little breasts. For the first time she looks up, her eyes meet his, and in a flash see all. Confused, she drops her glance. Wordsworth is writing about the Alps, he says. We don't have Alps in this country, but we have the Drakensberg, or on a smaller scale, Table Mountain, which we climb in the wake of the poets, hoping for one of those revelatory Wordsworthian moments we have all heard about. Now he is just talking, covering up. But moments like that will not come unless the eye is half turned towards the great archetypes of the imagination we carry within us. Enough. He is sick of the sound of his own voice, and sorry for her, too, having to listen to these covert intimacies. He dismisses the class, then lingers, hoping for a word with her, but she slips away in the throng. A week ago, she was just another pretty face in the class. Now she is a presence in his life, a breathing presence. The auditorium of the student union is in darkness. Unnoticed, he takes a seat in the back row. Save for a balding man in a janitor's uniform a few rows in front of him, he is the only spectator. Sunset at the Globe Salon is the name of the play they are rehearsing, a comedy of the new South African set in a hairdressing salon in Hillbrow, Johannesburg. On stage, a hairdresser, flamboyantly gay, attends to two clients, one black, one white. Patter passes among the three of them. Jokes, insults. Catharsis seems to be the presiding principle, all the coarse old prejudices brought into the light of day and washed away in the gales of laughter. A fourth figure comes on stage, a girl in high platform shoes with her hair done in a cascade of ringlets. "Take a seat, dearie. I'll attend to you in a mo," says the hairdresser. "I've come for the job," she replies, "the one you advertised." Her accent is glaringly Carp's. It is Melanie. "Ah, pick up a broom and make yourself useful," says the hairdresser. She picks up a broom, totters around the set, pushing it before her. The broom gets tangled in an electric cord. There is supposed to be a flash, followed by a screaming and a scurrying around, but something goes wrong with the synchronization. The director comes striding on stage, and behind her a young man in a black leather who begins to fiddle with the wall socket. "It's got to be snappier," says the director. "A more Marx Brothers atmosphere." She turns to Melanie. "Okay?" Melanie nods. Ahead of him, the janitor stands up and with a heavy sigh leaves the auditorium. He ought to be gone too. An unseemly business, sitting in the dark spying on a girl. Unbidden, the word leching comes to him. Yet the old men whose company he seems to be on the point of joining, the tramps and the drifters with their stained raincoats and cracked false teeth and hairy ear holes, all of them were once upon a time children of God, with straight limbs and clear eyes. Can they be blamed for clinging to the last of their place at the sweet banquet of their senses? On stage, the action resumes. Melanie pushes her broom. A bang, a flash, screams of alarm. "It's not my fault," squawks Melanie. "My guts! Why must everything be my fault?" Quietly he gets up, follows the janitor into the darkness outside. At 4 o'clock the next afternoon he is at her flat. She opens the door wearing a crumpled t-shirt, cycling shorts, slippers in the shape of a comic book gopher's, which he finds silly, tasteless. He has given her no warning. She is too surprised to resist the intruder who thrusts himself upon her. When he takes her in his arms, her limbs crumple like a marionette's. Words heavy as clubs thud into the delicate whirl of her ear. No, not now, she says, struggling. My cousin will be back. But nothing will stop him. He carries her to the bedroom, brushes off the absurd slippers, kisses her feet, astonished by the feeling she evokes. Something to do with the apparition on the stage, the wig, the wiggling bottom, the crude talk. Strange love. Yet from the quiver of Aphrodite, goddess of the foaming waves, no doubt about that. She does not resist. All she does is avert herself, avert her lips, avert her eyes. She lets him lay her out on the bed and undress her. She even helps him, raising her arms and then her hips. Little shivers of cold run through her. As soon as she is bare, she slips under the quilted counterpane like a mole burrowing and turns her back on him. Not rape, not quite that, but undesired, nevertheless, undesired to the core, as though she had decided to go slack, die within herself for the duration, like a rabbit when the jaws of a fox close on its neck, so that everything done to her might be done, as it were, far away. Pauline will be back any minute, she says when it is over. Please, you must go. He obeys, but then, when he reaches his car, is overtaken with such dejection, such dullness that he sits slumped at the wheel, unable to move. A mistake, a huge mistake. At this moment, he has no doubt she, Melanie, is trying to cleanse herself of it, of him. He sees her running a bath, stepping into the water, eyes closed like a sleepwalker's. He would like to slide into a bath of his own. A woman with chunky legs and a no-nonsense business suit passes by and enters the apartment block. Is this cousin Pauline, the flatmate, the one whose disapproval Melanie is so afraid of? He rouses himself, drives off. The next day she is not in class. An unfortunate absence, since it is the day of the mid-term test. When he fills in the register afterwards, he ticks her off as present and enters a mark of 70. At the foot of the page he pencils a note to himself. Provisional. 70. A facilitator's mark, neither good nor bad. She stays away the whole of the next week. Time after time he telephones without reply. Then at midnight on Sunday the doorbell rings. It is Melanie, dressed from top to toe in black, with a little black woolen cap. Her face is strained. He steels himself for angry words, for a scene. The scene does not come. In fact, she is the one who is embarrassed. Can I sleep here tonight? She whispers, avoiding his eye. Of course, of course. His heart is flooded with relief. He reaches out, embraces her, pressing her against him stiff and cold. Come, I'll make you some tea. No tea. No, nothing. I'm exhausted. I just need to crash. He makes up a bed for her in his daughter's old room, kisses her good night, leaves her to herself. When he returns half an hour later, she is in a dead sleep, fully clothed. He eases off her shoes, covers her. At 7 in the morning, as the first birds are beginning to chirrup, he knocks at her door. She is awake, lying with the sheet drawn up to her chin, looking haggard. How are you feeling? He asks. She shrugs. Is something the matter? Do you want to talk? She shakes her head mutely. He sits down on the bed, draws her to him. In his arms she begins to sob miserably. Despite all, he feels a tingling of desire. There, he whispers, trying to comfort her. Tell me what is wrong. Almost he says, Tell Daddy what is wrong. She gathers herself and tries to speak, but her nose is clogged. He finds her a tissue. Can I stay here a while? She says. Stay here, he repeats carefully. She has stopped crying, but long shudders of misery still pass through her. Would that be a good idea? Whether it would be a good idea, she does not say. Instead, she presses herself tighter to him, her face warm against his belly. The sheet slips aside. She is wearing only a singlet and panties. Does she know what she is up to at this moment? When he made the first move in the college gardens, he had thought of it as a quick little affair, quickly in, quickly out. Now she is in his house, trailing complications behind her. What game is she playing? He should be wary, no doubt about that, but he should have been wary from the start. He stretches out on the bed beside her. The last thing in the world he needs is for Melanie Isaacs to take up residence with him. Yet at this moment the thought is intoxicating. Every night she will be here. Every night he can slip into her bed like this, slip into her. People will find out, they always do. There will be whispering. There might even be scandal. But what will that matter? A last leap of the flame of sense before it goes out. He folds the bedclothes aside, reaches down, strokes her breasts, her buttocks. "Of course you can stay," he murmurs. "Of course." In his bedroom, 2 doors away, the alarm clock goes off. She turns away from him, pulls the covers up over her shoulders. "I'm going to leave now," he says. "I have classes to meet. Try to sleep again. I'll be back at noon. Then we can talk." He strokes her hair, kisses her forehead. Mistress? Daughter? What in her heart is she trying to be? What is she offering him? When he returns at noon, she is up, sitting at the kitchen table, eating toast and honey and drinking tea. She seems thoroughly at home. "So," he says, "you're looking much better." "I slept after you left." "Will you tell me now what this is all about?" She avoids his eye. "Not now," she says. "I have to go, I'm late. I'll explain next time." "And when will next time be?" "This evening, after rehearsal. Is that okay?" "Yes." She gets up, carries her cup and plate to the sink, but does not wash them, turns to face him. "Are you sure it's okay?" she says. "Yes, it's okay." "I wanted to say, I know I've missed a lot of classes, but the production is taking up all my time." "I understand. You are telling me your drama work has priority. It would have helped if you had explained earlier. Will you be in class tomorrow?" "Yes, I promise." She promises, but with a promise that is not enforceable. He is vexed, irritated. She is behaving badly, getting away with too much. She is learning to exploit him, and will probably exploit him further. But if she has got away with much, he has got away with more. If she is behaving badly, he has behaved worse. To the extent that they are together, if they are together, he is the one who leads, she the one who follows. Let him not forget that.